Oh, man. Can you hear me? Oh, my goodness. Can you hear me, friends? Sorry about all the technical stuff. Oh, dang. We had a little bit of a false start. My apologies. All right. So, welcome everyone to the tea party. It's a super exciting time. I'm just, taking a pic for the gram, doing it. I hope you're all having a fantastic time. I tried to do a little fancy through OBS and just nothing at all wanted to work. So here we are. Classic YouTube live streaming. Alrighty. Okay, let's see here. Thanks for joining, friends. All right. So we're here. I hope those of you that were with me before decide to tune in. Again, my apologies for the technical difficulties. If you want to hop on chat and let me know how everything looks, how you're doing. We are super, super cozy today. I hope you can hear me okay. My camera's actually working, and it looks like my mic is actually working. So that's nice. Let me know if you can hear the classical music as well. Very exciting. I hope you're drinking some tea. I grabbed some. It's very exciting. I am having some Assam tea straight from India. It's so good. It's like such a forward tea. It's so, so yummy. Hi, Nicole. How's it going? Thanks for coming back. And thank you for your patience. I'm just going to tweet her out quick. Tweet. Wonderful. Oh, yay. We have some more friends coming on. Hello, everyone. I was just talking about the kind of tea I'm drinking. It's this gorgeous Assam from India that I got from one of the local import stores. That's my favorite thing to do is to go to just like a little local import store. This one it was Armenian and they just had a whole wall of tea imports that were so delicious. And I just picked one at random. And here we are. Yeah, so exciting. Alrighty. We're here, we're drinking tea. So, friends, I wanted to do a test stream today for a new live streaming idea that I have that'll be hosted over on Twitch. So, basically, I want to have tea parties, of course. Everything I do on the internet, it's always a tea party. And read books and maybe sing some bedtime songs. So it's gonna be a like an evening stream situation, but I thought it would be really fun to do it here first. I don't have all my fancy graphics and stuff, unfortunately. I had some technical difficulties this morning, but I'm really glad that y'all are here. And if you are drinking some tea, I would love to know what it is. Oh man, so good. So good. Alrighty. Let me just push to Facebook. See, this is the nice thing about having like a screen that says streaming soon, because then you do all the like the social announcements and stuff while it's doing that screen, so I don't have to have this like awkward dead space. But yeah, how are you today? I hope you're wonderful. I'm doing pretty good. I just fed the cats, so they should be pretty chill. Fortunately. Or maybe, it's always nice to have some cats. I'm right by the cat ladder in case they hop up. So that's good. Yeah, we have a little moody lighting here. I love it. So on Twitch, I do want to stream Harry Potter, mostly read Harry Potter, but I wasn't sure like on YouTube what the rules for that are. So that's okay. That's why we're doing public domain today, Wizard of Oz. I have a collection of the first 5 books of the series. And I love this so much. Like, look, the outside is yellow. The inside is emerald green. Because of course it is. And even the pages are emerald. I love it so, so much. I have the next 5 books in the series in a similar collection. And the cover of that is emerald green with gold accents. And the pages are gold. So it's kind of like this book, but just the opposite. And they make a gorgeous, gorgeous little pair. So I just have one more place to post the stuff. Thank you for being patient. There we go. Posting. Perfect. Oh, hi, Mr. Mary. Do you want to play? No, you just want to try to kick around everything that I'm recording with? For those of you who don't know, my cats' names are Mr. Mary and Pippin, or Meriadoc and Peregrine from Lord of the Rings. So I call them the Hobbit kitties. So if you hear me go, Mr. Mary, or hey, Pippin. Actually, hi, baby. That's who I'm referring to. So, I was actually in the middle of reading one of these. I figured let's just go to the beginning. So, this is The Wizard of Oz, the first 5 novels by L. Frank Baum. I love this collection so much. It's so beautiful. I grew up reading these books. So as my favorite Oz book actually is Ozma of Oz, which is the 3rd Oz book. But we're just going to be starting with the classic today, which is very fun. And there are some pictures. Alrighty. Oh, and you can hear the page turns. This is like almost ASMR live. So here we are, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. I realize the picture is a little backwards, but that's okay. I don't know if you can hear the music as well in the background. So that's lovely. Hello, hello. We're just about to start reading The Wizard of Oz. Welcome to the tea party. I'm so glad that you could make it. Wonderful, wonderful. Definitely need a sip of tea. Before we get going. So this is just going to be a test stream of kind of what I want to be doing on Twitch, which is very exciting. All right. Chapter 1, The Cyclone. And I'll try when I have everything set up on Twitch, I'll actually not have the image be backwards. So it doesn't look like that. But the artwork in this is just so charming. All right. Dorothy lived in the midst of the great Kansas prairies with Uncle Henry, who was a farmer, and Aunt Em, who was the farmer's wife. Their house was small, for the lumber to build it had to be carried by a wagon many miles. There were 4 walls, a floor, and a roof, which made one room. And this room contained a rusty-looking cooking stove, a cupboard for the dishes, a table, 3 or 4 chairs, and the beds. Uncle Henry and Aunt Em had a big bed in one corner, and Dorothy had a little bed in another corner. There was no garret at all, and no cellar, except for a small hole dug in the ground called a cyclone cellar, where the family could go in case one of those great whirlwinds arose, mighty enough to crush any building in its path. It was reached by a trap door in the middle of the floor, from which a ladder led down into the small, dark hole. When Dorothy stood in the doorway and looked around, she could see nothing but the great gray prairie on every side. Not a tree nor a house broke the broad sweep of flat country that reached the edge of the sky in all directions. The sun had baked the plowed land into a gray mass with little cracks running through it. Even the grass was not green, for the sun had burned the tops of the long blades until they were the same gray color to be seen everywhere. Once the house had been painted, but the sun blistered the paint and the rains washed it away, and now the house was dull and gray as everything else. So even like in the movie, when the beginning is sepia, that is not just like necessarily a camera trick to show off the new like colored film technology. That's a real thing in the book. Granted, it's a little bit more black and white. And if you've ever seen the stage production of The Wizard of Oz, they actually have all the characters wear black and white costumes, black and white versions of their costumes. So, like Dorothy's in a black and white gingham jumper dress, and the whole set is black and white as well. So they kind of bring that from the book / movie into the live stage production, which I think is just so lovely. Hello, Beverly. Oh, we have Glaswegian in here. We have Nicole. We have Beverly. It's a wonderful, wonderful day. Oh my goodness. I hope that you have some tea. We're just starting on The Wizard of Oz. Alrighty. So Kansas. Oh, and Rachel's here. Wonderful. So we were just discussing how in the actual book, all of Kansas is pretty much black and white. If you've never read the book, it's a treat. I grew up reading the whole series. I own the first 10 books in little collections like this. Alrighty, so let's keep reading. When Aunt Em came there to live, she was a young, pretty wife. The sun and wind had changed her too. They had taken the sparkle from her eyes and left them a sober gray. They had taken the red from her cheeks and lips, and they were gray also. She was thin and gaunt and never smiled now. When Dorothy, who was an orphan, first came to her, Aunt Em had been so startled by the child's laughter that she would scream and press her hand upon her heart whenever Dorothy's merry voice reached her ears, and she still looked at the little girl with wonder that she could find anything to laugh at. Uncle Henry never laughed. He worked hard from morning till night and did not know what joy was. He was gray also, from his long beard to his rough boots, and he looked stern and solemn and rarely spoke. It was Toto that made Dorothy laugh and saved her from growing as gray as her other surroundings. Toto was not gray. He was a little black dog with long, silky hair and small black eyes that twinkled merrily on either side of his funny wee nose. Toto played all day long, and Dorothy played with him and loved him dearly. Today, however, they were not playing. Uncle Henry sat upon the doorstep and looked anxiously at the sky, which was even grayer than usual. Dorothy stood in the door with Toto in her arms and looked at the sky too. Aunt Em was washing the dishes. I know Toto just sounds like the sweetest wee dog. I love it. I love it so much. From the far north, they heard a low wail of the wind, and Uncle Henry and Dorothy could see where the long grass bowed in waves before the coming storm. There now came a sharp whistling in the air from the south, and as they turned their eyes that way, they saw ripples in the grass coming from that direction also. Suddenly, Uncle Henry stood up. "There's a cyclone comin', Em," he called to his wife. "I'll go look after the stock." Then he ran towards the sheds where the cows and horses were kept. Aunt Em dropped her work and came to the door. One glance told her of the danger close at hand. "Quick, Dorothy!" she screamed. "Run for the cellar!" "Hi, Shinova! Hey, girl, we're running for the cellar. There's a cyclone coming." Oh my goodness gracious. Toto jumped out of Dorothy's arms and hid under her bed, and the girl started to get him. But Em, badly frightened, threw open the trap door and the floor and climbed down the ladder into the small dark hole. Dorothy caught Toto at last and started to follow her aunt. When she was halfway across the room, there came a great shriek from the wind, and the house shook so hard that she lost her footing and sat down suddenly upon the floor. A strange thing then happened. The house whirled around 2 or 3 times and rose slowly through the air. Dorothy felt as if she was going up in a balloon. The north and south winds met where the house stood and made it the exact center of the cyclone. In the middle of a cyclone, the air was generally still, but the great pressure of the wind on every side of the house raised it up higher and higher until it was at the very top of the cyclone, and there it remained and was carried miles and miles away as easily as you could carry a feather. It was very dark, and the wind howled horribly around her, but Dorothy found she was riding quite easily. After the first few whirls around, and one other time where the house tipped badly, she felt as if she were being rocked gently, like a baby in a cradle. I can't imagine being a kid in a house and then all of a sudden being thrust into the air. I know, this book is so lovely. Oh my goodness, my cats are going bananas. Buddies, what are you doing? All right. Well, let's see if I can sneak you a peek of the buddies. Whoop. Hi, sweet boys. Hi, sweet boys. Oh, I know. Well, the reason that Dorothy didn't make it into the cellar is that Toto was scared and she couldn't catch Toto. Oh, and actually the next paragraph starts with Toto did not like it. He ran around the room, now here, now there, barking loudly, but Dorothy sat quite still on the floor. "Yes, darling, you just ate." My cats, man. And waited to see what would happen. My version does have some illustrations. They're generally at the top of the chapters. So yeah. I have one on the next page, so get ready. Once Toto got too near the open trap door and fell in, and at first the little girl thought she had lost him, but soon she saw one of his ears sticking up through the hole, for the strong pressure of the air was keeping him up so that he could not fall. Oh, I would have a freaking heart attack. She crept to the hole, Toto by the ear, and dragged him into the room again, afterward closing the trap door so that no more accidents could happen. Hour after hour passed away, and slowly Dorothy got over her fright, but she felt quite lonely, and the wind shrieked so loudly all about her that she became nearly deaf. At first, she had wondered if she would be dashed to pieces when the house fell again. But as the hours passed and nothing terrible happened, she stopped worrying and resolved to wait calmly and see what the future would bring. At last, she crawled over the swaying floor to her bed and lay down in it, and Toto followed and lay down beside her. In spite of the swaying of the house and the whirling of the wind, Dorothy soon closed her eyes and fell fast asleep. So that is chapter 1 of The Wizard of Oz, everyone. What do you think? What are you feeling? Terrifying, but I love that how Dorothy was like, oh, nothing bad is happening. I'm just going to take a nap, which is like brilliant. Also, if you are drinking tea or any kind of beverage, I would love to know what you're drinking. Yeah, I know. I just like I said hours and hours, and I'm thinking like, how many is hours? How many hours is hours and hours? Like 5, 6 hours? I don't know how long it takes to get to Oz from Kansas, you know? It might be quite a traveling endeavor. Ooh, you just had some Yorkshire tea? Lovely. Beverly in the chat loves to drink Yorkshire tea as well. She's the one that introduced me to it, actually. I'm drinking some Assam tea straight from India, but drinking it the English way. And it's just so lovely. I love it. Oh, it's so refreshing. It's so refreshing. I'm actually, confession, I just ran out of Yorkshire tea and my little heart doesn't really know what to do. A part of me is like, I should get through the tea that I have that's similar, drink that first, and then get some more tea. But a part of me is like, but I don't have any Yorkshire tea in the house though. Well, Glaswegian, you're from Glasgow, right? Which would make sense. So that's wonderful. We have some people from across the pond joining us. It's just so lovely. How about you say we read chapter 2? Who is up for chapter 2? Ooh, Earl Grey with your breakfast? Excellent choice. There's a national emergency if you run out. That's delightful. But yeah, who's up for chapter 2? The Council with the Munchkins. Oh my goodness. And like these books really do move at a good pace. The chapters are not long. I mean, the reading level for these, I think I started reading these in like 2nd, 3rd grade. It's definitely like a chapter book. Oh, you feel like a kid again. Yay. Aw. Stop. Oh my gosh, are you ready for this picture? So chapter 2, The Council of the Munchkins. I love how like the first word of all the chapters is integrated into the artwork like that. And look at Toto. He's such a happy baby. And I mean, one of the best parts about reading these books growing up as a girl is that as the book series continues, Dorothy grows up. So it was like I was growing up with Dorothy as I was reading it, which is just like so lovely. I know the flowers are adorable. I love them. And look, there's a little pointy hat. Right there. Yeah, on Twitch, I'm definitely going to have to figure out a way to flop this so that it's not backwards when you're looking at it. But anyway, chapter 2, The Council with the Munchkins. She was awakened by a shock so sudden and severe that if Dorothy had not been lying on the soft bed, she might have been hurt. Good thing she took a nap. Pardon me. As it was, the jar made her catch her breath and wonder what had happened. And Toto put his cold little nose into her face and whined dismally. Dorothy sat up and noticed that the house was not moving. Nor was it dark, for the bright sunshine came in at the window, flooding the little room. She sprang from her bed and, with Toto at her heels, ran and opened the door. The little girl gave a cry of amazement and looked about her, her eyes growing bigger and bigger at the wonderful sights she saw. The cyclone had set the house down very gently for a cyclone in the midst of a country of marvelous beauty. There were lovely patches of green sward all about, with stately trees bearing rich and luscious fruits. Banks of gorgeous flowers were on every hand, and birds with rare and brilliant plumage sat and fluttered in the trees and bushes. A little way off was a small brook, rushing and sparkling along between green banks and murmuring in a voice very grateful to a little girl who had lived so long on the dry, gray prairies. I love Glinda too. She's one of my favorite characters. And also, like, already we see the contrast between, like, Kansas literally being described as black and white from the grass to the people, and now here she is in, like, this lush, incredibly green, fantastic land. While she stood looking eagerly at the strange and beautiful sights, she noticed coming towards her a group of the queerest people she had ever seen. They were not as big as the grown folk she had always been used to, but neither were they very small. In fact, they seemed about as tall as Dorothy, who was a well-grown child for her age, although they were, so far as looks go, many years older. 3 were men and 1 a woman, and were very oddly dressed. They wore round hats that rose to a small point a foot above their heads, with little bells around the brims that twinkled sweetly as they moved. The hats of the men were blue, and the little woman's hat was white. She wore a white gown that hung in plaits from her shoulders. Over it were sprinkled little stars that glistened in the sun like diamonds. The men were dressed in blue of the same shade as their hats, and wore well-polished boots with a deep roll of blue at the tops. The men, Dorothy thought, were about as old as Uncle Henry, for 2 of them had beards. But the little woman was doubtless much older. Her face was covered with wrinkles, her hair was nearly white, and she walked rather stiffly. When these people drew near the house, where Dorothy was standing in the doorway, they paused and whispered amongst themselves, as if afraid to come further. But the little old woman walked up to Dorothy, made a low bow, and said in a sweet voice, "You are welcome, most noble sorceress, to the land of the Munchkins. We are so grateful to you for having killed the Wicked Witch of the East, and for setting our people free from bondage." Dorothy listened to this speech with wonder. What could the little woman possibly mean by calling her a sorceress? Hi, Amanda. And saying she had killed the Wicked Witch of the East? Dorothy was an innocent, harmless little girl who had been carried by a cyclone many miles from home. And she had never killed anything in all her life. But the little woman evidently expected her to answer, so Dorothy said with hesitation, "You are very kind, but there must be some mistake. I have not killed anything." Hey, Ginger Kid, welcome. We're reading chapter 2 of The Wizard of Oz. "Your house did anyway," replied the little old woman with a laugh, "and that is the same thing. See?" she continued, pointing to the corner of the house. There are her 2 shoes, still sticking out from under a block of wood." Dorothy looked and gave a little cry of fright. There, indeed, just under the corner of the great beam the house rested on, 2 feet were sticking out, shod in silver shoes with pointed toes. Oh dear, cried Dorothy, clasping her hands together in dismay. "The house must have fallen on her. Whatever shall we do?" "There is nothing to be done," said the little woman calmly. "But who was she?"
She was the Wicked Witch of the East, as I said, answered the little woman. She has held all the Munchkins in bondage for many years, making them slave for her night and day. Now they are all set free and are grateful to you for the favor.
Yeah, silver, not ruby. The rumor goes in movie history, Rachel, if you're still watching, you might know more about this, but apparently they made the slippers ruby more so that they would stand out in the colored film because colored film was like a newer thing. Yeah, because of the Technicolor. So they really wanted to show off their color technology. So yes, they are the silver slippers and not the ruby slippers. It's a good opportunity to have a sip of them too. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope that you're enjoying it. And like, I don't know if you can hear. Yeah, to take advantage of the Technicolor. Yes. I'm playing a little bit of classical music in the background. I don't know if you can hear it. If you can and you like it, great. If you can't, great. If it's distracting, cool. I can shut it off. Oh, let me show you my kitties. They're sleeping in the office also. Beepies. Aw, cuties. Okay, you can't hear it. Word.
Ah, oh, what darlings. Oh, they're so sleepy.
They love the sunshine. Yeah, they're so fluff and cute. I fed them right before we started streaming, so they'd be a bit more mellow. It takes like about an hour-ish after they eat for them to get sleepy, so we're right about on time. Alrighty. Who are the Munchkins? Inquired Dorothy.
They are the people who live in this land of the East, where the Wicked Witch ruled.
Are you a Munchkin? Asked Dorothy.
No, but I am their friend, although I live in the land of the North, where they saw the Witch of the East was dead. The Munchkins sent a swift messenger to me, and I came at once. I am the Witch of the North.
Oh, gracious, cried Dorothy. Are you a real witch?
Yes, indeed, answered the little woman, but I am a good witch, and the people love me.
I'm going to shut the music off.
I am not as powerful as the Wicked Witch who once ruled here, or I should have set the people free myself.
But I thought all witches were wicked, said the girl, who was half frightened at facing a real witch.
Oh no, that is a great mistake. There were only 4 witches in all the land of Oz, and 2 of them, those who live in the north and the south, are good witches. I know this to be true, for I am one of them myself, and cannot be mistaken. Those who dwelt in the east and west were, indeed, wicked witches. But now that you have killed one of them, there is but one wicked witch in all the land of Oz, the one who lives in the west.
But, said Dorothy, after a moment's thought, Aunt Em has told me that the witches were all dead years and years ago.
Who is Aunt Em? Inquired the little old woman.
She's my aunt who lives in Kansas, where I came from. The Witch of the North seemed to think for a time, with her head bowed and her eyes upon the ground. Then she looked up and said,
I do not know where Kansas is, for I have never heard that country mentioned before. But tell me, is it a civilized country?
Oh, yes, replied Dorothy.
Then that accounts for it. In the civilized countries, I believe there are no witches left, nor wizards, nor sorceresses, nor magicians. But you see, the land of Oz has never been civilized, for we are cut off from the rest of the world. Therefore, we still have witches and wizards among us.
Who are the wizards? Asked Dorothy.
Oz himself is a great wizard, answered the witch, sinking her voice to a whisper. He is more powerful than all the rest of us together. He lives in the City of Emeralds.
Dorothy was going to ask another question, but just then the Munchkins, who had been standing silently by, gave a shout and pointed to the corner of the house where the Wicked Witch had been lying. "What is it?" asked the little old woman, and looked and began to laugh. The feet of the dead witch had disappeared entirely, and nothing was left but the silver shoes. "She was so old," explained the Witch of the North, "that she dried up quickly in the sun. That is the end of her. But the silver shoes are yours, and you shall have them to wear." She reached down and picked up the shoes, and after shaking the dust off of them, she handed them to Dorothy. "The Witch of the East was proud of those silver shoes," said one of the Munchkins, "and there is some charm connected with them, but what it is we never knew." Oh, you love all the voices. Your parents didn't really read to you. You had books on tape. Aw. Oh, I love like being read to and reading. Like Jacob and I even read to each other, and it's just lovely. We read The Princess Bride in its entirety to each other, and that was really, really, really fun. It's just like reading aloud anyway. Yeah, I don't know. Uh yeah. Right? I don't want some old dead lady shoes. Dorothy carried the shoes into the house and placed them on the table. Then she came out again to the Munchkins and said, "Oh, the reading to each other. Yeah, it's really nice. Even just reading aloud in general. I mean, as a like enjoying it aside as a voice actor, it's really, really good to just practice reading anything and everything out loud. And I just like love reading books out loud so much. Um, I am anxious to get back to my aunt and uncle, for I am sure they will worry about me. Can you help me find my way?" The Munchkins and the witch first looked at one another, and then at Dorothy, and then shook their heads. "At the east, not far from here," said one, "there is a great desert, and none could live to cross it." "And the same to the south," said another, "for I have been there and seen it. The south is the country of the Quadlings." "I am told," said the third man, "that it is the same in the west, and that country where the Winkies lived is ruled by the Wicked Witch of the West, who would make you her slave if you passed her way." "The north is my home," said the old lady, "and at its edge is the same great desert that surrounds this land of Oz. I'm afraid, my dear, you will have to live with us." So here is the I am the Witch of the North. There's Glinda, who's a little old lady in the books. So lovely. 3 Munchkin men with their beards. And she has her little wand. And there's Toto with his cute perky tail. Oh, it's so good. So lovely. Dorothy began to sob at this, for she felt lonely among these strange people. Her tears seemed to grieve the kind-hearted Munchkins, for they immediately took out their handkerchiefs and began to weep also. As the old woman, she took off her cap and balanced the point on the end of her nose, while she counted 1, 2, 3 in a solemn voice. At once the cap changed to a slate, on which was written in big white chalk marks, "Let Dorothy go to the City of Emeralds." I know, right? Or maybe it's not a wand. Oh, looking closer at it, it's a staff that has an N for north on the end of it. Like a weather vane. Right there. So it's, I guess, a staff or a really big wand or something. Although apparently she can do magic with her hat, which is dope. So let Dorothy go to the City of Emeralds. I don't know. Has she been introduced? Do you guys remember? Has she actually been introduced as Glinda? I think it just refers to her as the little old woman and not as Glinda. Yeah, it just refers to her as the little old woman. We don't have a name. Um, the little old woman took the slate from her nose and, having read the words on it, said,
Is your name Dorothy, my dear?
Yes, answered the child, looking up and drying her tears.
Then you must go to the City of Emeralds. Perhaps Oz will help you.
Where is this city? Asked Dorothy.
It is exactly in the center of the country. It is ruled by Oz, the great wizard I told you of.
Is he a good man? Inquired the girl anxiously.
He is a good wizard. Whether he is a man or not, I cannot tell, for I have never seen him.
How can I get there? Asked Dorothy.
You must walk. It is a long journey through a country that is sometimes pleasant and sometimes dark and terrible. However, I will use all the magic arts I know to keep you from harm.
Won't you go with me? Pleaded the girl, who had begun to look upon the little old woman as her only friend.
No, I cannot do that, she replied, but I will give you my kiss, and no one will dare injure a person who has been kissed by the Witch of the North.
She came close to Dorothy and kissed her gently on the forehead. Where her lips touched the girl, they left a round, shining mark, as Dorothy found out soon after.
The road to the City of Emeralds is paved with yellow brick,
said the witch,
so you cannot miss it. When you get to Oz, do not be afraid of him, but tell your story and ask him for help. Goodbye, my dear.
The three munchkins bowed low to her and wished her a pleasant journey, but after which they walked away through the trees. The witch gave Dorothy a friendly little nod, whirled around on her left heel 3 times, and straightway disappeared, much to the surprise of little Toto, who barked after her loudly after she had gone, because he had been afraid to even growl while she stood by. But Dorothy, knowing her to be a witch, had expected her to disappear in just that way, and was not surprised in the least. And that's the end of chapter 2, my friends. How are we feeling? How are you doing? I would be happy to read chapter 3 if you want to hang out and tea party a little longer. How Dorothy saved the Scarecrow. I told you these books really move along at a good pace. Right. Glinda is the Witch of the South in the book. I forgot about that. Yay, the Scarecrow. Oh, I'm glad you are enjoying it. Yeah, it's just the little old woman from the north. I have to take a bathroom break very quickly, but I will be right back. I think we have one vote for keep reading chapter 3 about how Dorothy meets the Scarecrow. So let me know if you want me to keep reading, and I will be right back. All right, me awkwardly getting back into frame. Let's see. Keep reading. More reading. Keep going. Okay, yay. Alrighty. I hope you refilled your water glasses and your teacups if you needed to. I'm so glad that you all are enjoying this. It makes my heart so, so happy. If you missed it earlier, I'm thinking on Twitch, I'm going to read the Harry Potter books, which I am very, very excited about. I'm going to be starting soon. I'm going to try to stream on Twitch reading 3 days a week. But I think live streaming on YouTube and Twitch are a little different, and I wanted to start. Oh, yay! Hey, knitting is excellent activity while like listening to books. So I'm going to be reading Harry Potter, but I wanted to just like to test things out, read The Wizard of Oz, which obviously I love. I own the first 10 books. And these are such lovely reads. I love them so much. Alrighty. So let's get into chapter 3, How Dorothy Saved the Scarecrow. And of course, we have more top of the chapter art. I love it in her little dress. You can see the whole gang in color on the cover. So lovely. Ooh, you're making a Rainbow Pride flag blanket? That sounds like the best use of knitting time ever. That's fantastic. I love it. Hop on our Discord and I would love, love, love to see a picture. Could someone pop a link for our Discord into the chat? That would be super, super helpful. And I'm going to start reading chapter 3. Thank you, Rachel. All right. When Dorothy was left alone, she began to feel hungry. So she went to the cupboard and cut herself some bread, which she spread with butter. She gave some to Toto, and taking a pail from the shelf, she carried it down to the little brook and filled it with clear, sparkling water. Toto ran over to the trees and began to bark at the birds sitting there. Dorothy went to get him and saw such delicious fruit hanging from the branches that she gathered some of it, finding it was just what she wanted to help out her breakfast. Then she went back to the house, and having helped herself and Toto to a good drink of some cool, clear water. I lost my place. I was trying to do the fancy read, but also look at you, memorize a thing. There we go. I found it. She set about making ready for the journey to the City of Emeralds. Dorothy only had one other dress, but that happened to be clean and was hanging on a peg outside her bed. It was gingham with checks of white and blue. Although the blue was somewhat faded with many washings, it was still a pretty frock. A pretty frock. The girl washed herself carefully, dressed herself in the clean gingham, and tied her pink sunbonnet to her head. She took a little basket and filled it with bread from the cupboard, laying a white cloth over the top. Then she looked down at her feet and noticed how old and worn her shoes were. "They surely will never do for a long journey, Toto," she said, and Toto looked up at her face with his little black eyes and wagged his tail to show he knew what she meant. At that moment, Dorothy saw lying on the table the silver shoes that had belonged to the Witch of the East. "I wonder if they will fit me," she said to Toto. "They would be just the thing to take a long walk in, for they would never wear out." She took off her old leather shoes and tried on the silver ones, which fitted her very well, as if they had been made for her. Finally, she picked up her basket. "Come along, Toto," she said. "We will go to the Emerald City and ask the Great Oz how to get back to Kansas again." She closed the door, locked it, and put the key carefully in the pocket of her dress. Because, of course, if she's going to leave her house in a mystical land, she has to make sure to lock the door and keep the key.
Okay, no problem. Yay, take a picture and post it. I'm so excited. Let's see. There were several roads nearby, but it did not take long for her to find the one paved with yellow brick. Within a short time, she was walking briskly towards the Emerald City, her silver shoes tinkling merrily in on the hard yellow roadbed. The sun shone bright and the birds sang sweet, and Dorothy did not feel nearly as bad as you might think a little girl who had been suddenly whisked away from her own country and set down in the midst of a strange land. She was surprised as she walked along to see how pretty the country was about her. There were neat fences at the side of the road, painted a dainty blue color, and behind them were fields of grain and vegetables in abundance. Evidently, the Munchkins were good farmers and able to raise large crops. Once in a while, she would pass a house, and the people came out to look at her and bow low as she went by, for everyone knew she had been the means of destroying the wicked witch and setting them free from bondage. The houses of the Munchkins were odd-looking dwellings, for each was round, with a big dome for a roof. All were painted blue, for in this country of the East, blue was their favorite color. And Dorothy is wearing her blue gingham dress now, so accidentally, she is now dressed in the colors of the Munchkins. Each of the 4 different provinces have different like staple colors. So as you move either northwest, east, south, that was a weird direction to say those in. The color changes. I can't quite think of what the other colors of the provinces are right now. I think yellow is the Winkies. I think. And maybe red is the West. If anyone has read the books and knows that. Yes, West. Okay, yeah, West for the Winkies is yellow. And then the North and the South, I can't quite remember. Yes, you do always wear blue. Right, red is the South and North is purple. I don't know if I've read too many books that take place in the North that I can think of right now, but also in each of the books, Dorothy comes into Oz another incredible way, whether it's like hanging on to a chicken cage in a shipwreck or an earthquake happening in California and her being swallowed by the earth. Like she gets to all of these mystical places through all kinds of different sort of natural disasters. So obviously the cyclone is the most famous one, which starts her adventures in strange lands. All right. I'm going to lean back a little bit. We'll get a little more casual. Ooh, Road to Oz is your favorite? That is an excellent, excellent choice. Microphone isn't exactly pointed at my mouth. Let's do that. Great. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Towards evening, when Dorothy was tired with her long walk and began to wonder where she should pass the night, she came to a house rather larger than the rest. On the green lawn before it, many men and women were dancing. 5 little fiddlers played as loudly as possible, and the people were laughing and singing, while a big table nearby was loaded with delicious fruits and nuts, pies and cakes, and many other good things to eat. That sounds like a freaking party, okay? The Munchkins know how to do it. Dancing on the lawn, fiddle music, and delicious freaking food. Bloop. You really, really should. The other Ozma of Oz is my favorite, which I think is the 3rd or 4th book. Yes, absolutely set up a party like that. What is your favorite pie? Let me know. I will read and then check in on what your favorite pies are.
The people greeted Dorothy kindly and invited her to supper and to pass the night with them, for this was the home of one of the richest munchkins in the land, and his friends were gathered with him to celebrate their freedom from the bondage of the Wicked Witch. Dorothy ate a hearty supper and was waited upon by the rich munchkin himself, whose name was Bach. Then she sat down upon a settee and watched the people dance. Anyone who knows Wicked the musical, there is actually a Bach in The Wizard of Oz. He's a super rich munchkin. So that's where that name came from, I'm sure. Fun fact, fun fact. When Bach saw her silver shoes, he said, "You must be a great sorceress." "Why?" asked the girl. "Because you wear the silver shoes that have killed the Wicked Witch. Besides, you have white in your frock, and only witches and sorcerers wear white." "My dress is blue and white checked," said Dorothy, smoothing out the wrinkles in it. "It is kind of you to wear that," said Bach. "Blue is the color of the Munchkins, and white is the witch color, so we know you are a friendly witch." Dorothy did not know what to say to this, for all the people seemed to think her a witch, and she knew very well she was only an ordinary little girl who had come by the chance of a cyclone into a strange land. When she had tired watching the dancing, Bach led her into the house, where he gave her a room with a pretty bed in it. The sheets were made of blue cloth, and Dorothy slept soundly in them till morning, with Toto curled up on the blue rug beside her. She ate a hearty breakfast and watched a wee munchkin baby who played with Toto and pulled his tail and crowed and laughed in a way that greatly amused Dorothy. Toto was a fine curiosity to all the people, for they had never seen a dog before. "How far is it to the Emerald City?" the girl asked. "I do not know," answered Bach gravely, "for I have never been there. It is better for people to keep away from Oz unless they have business with him, but it is a long way to the Emerald City, and it will take you many days. The country here is rich and pleasant, but you must pass through rough and dangerous places before you reach the end of your journey." Yeah, I really enjoyed Wicked. I saw it on Broadway back in the mid-2000s. Aw, that's amazing. And also, yes, Bach. Oh my gosh. Um, my younger sister and I, we would oh, that's okay, Amanda. I heard they're making a movie, so that's exciting. Um, my sister and I, we had a teeny tiny little library in our village, and we would check in and source all of the books from the other libraries. Like, we would have to wait a couple of weeks for the next Oz book to arrive. So it was like this fun kind of treasure hunt. Like, do they have the next book we're looking for? And if they don't, we would have to wait, and the anticipation. So I think we owned the first one, but I don't think we actually owned really too many of the others. And we just like had this whole. Oh yeah, Rachel, would you mind posting the link to the Discord again into chat? That would be so, so lovely. Let's see. Right, dangerous places before you reach the end of your journey. This worried Dorothy a little, but she knew that only the great Oz could help her get to Kansas again, so she bravely resolved not to turn back. She bade her friends goodbye and again started along the road of yellow brick. When she had gone several miles, she thought she would stop to rest, so she climbed to the top of the fence beside the road and sat down. There was a great cornfield beyond the fence, and not far away she saw a scarecrow placed high on a pole to keep the birds from the ripe corn. Dorothy leaned her chin upon her hand and gazed thoughtfully at the scarecrow. Its head was a small sack stuffed with straw, with eyes, nose, and a mouth painted on it to represent a face. An old pointed blue hat that had belonged to some munchkin was perched on his head, and the rest of the figure was a blue suit of clothes,
worn and faded, which had also been stuffed with straw. On the feet were some old boots with blue tops, such as every man wore in this country, and the figure was raised above the stalks of corn by means of the poles stuck up its back. While Dorothy was looking earnestly into the queer painted face of the scarecrow, she was surprised to see one of the eyes slowly wink at her. She thought she must have been mistaken at first, for none of the scarecrows in Kansas ever wink, but presently the figure nodded its head to her in a friendly way. Then she climbed down from the fence and walked up to it, while Toto ran around the pole and barked. "Good day," said the scarecrow in a rather husky voice. "Did you speak?" asked the girl in wonder. "Certainly," answered the scarecrow. "How do you do?" "I'm pretty well, thank you," replied Dorothy politely. "How do you do?" "I'm not feeling well," said the scarecrow with a smile, "for it is very tedious being perched up here at night and day to scare away any crows." "Can't you get down?" said Dorothy. "No, for this pole is stuck up my back. If you will please take away the pole, I shall be greatly obliged to you." Just give me one moment here. I'm just gonna post the link right quick. Live chat. There we go. There's the Discord link. Dorothy reached up both arms and lifted the figure off the pole, for, being stuffed with straw, he was quite light. "Thank you very much," said the scarecrow while he had been set down on the ground. "I feel like a new man." Dorothy was puzzled at this, for it sounded queer to hear a stuffed man speak, and to see him bow and walk along beside her. "Who are you?" asked the scarecrow when he had stretched himself and yawned. "And where are you going?" "My name is Dorothy," said the girl. "And I am going to the Emerald City to ask the Great Oz to send me back to Kansas." "Where is the Emerald City?" he inquired. "And who is Oz?" "Why, don't you know?" she returned in surprise. "No, indeed. I don't know anything. You see, I am stuffed, so I have no brains at all," he answered sadly. "Oh," said Dorothy, "I am awfully sorry for you." "Do you think," he asked, "if I go to the Emerald City with you, that the Great Oz would give me some brains?" "I cannot tell," she returned, "but you may come with me if you like. If Oz will not give you any brains, you will be no worse off than you are now." "That is true," said the scarecrow. "You see," he continued confidently, "I don't mind my legs, arms, and body being stuffed, because I cannot get hurt. If anyone treads on my toes or sticks a pin in me, it doesn't matter, for I can't feel it. But I do not want people calling me a fool, and if my head stays stuffed with straw instead of brains, as yours is, how am I ever to know anything?" "I understand how you feel," said the little girl, who was truly sorry for him. "If you come with me, I'll ask Oz to do all he can for you." "Thank you," he answered gratefully. They walked back to the road, Dorothy helped him over the fence, and they started along the path of yellow brick for the Emerald City. Toto did not like the addition to the party. At first, he smelled around the stuffed man as if he suspected there might be a nest of rats in the straw, and he often growled in an unfriendly way at the scarecrow. "Don't mind Toto," said Dorothy to her new friend. "He never bites." "Oh, I'm not afraid," replied the scarecrow. "He can't hurt the straw. Do let me carry that basket for you. I shall not mind it, nor can't get tired. I'll tell you a secret," he continued as they walked along. "There is only one thing in the world I am afraid of." "What's that?" asked Dorothy. "The Munchkin farmer who made you?" "No," answered the scarecrow. "It's a lighted match." "Oh, the scarecrow is your favorite and you love him." Oh, what Chat, should you post your knitting project in? Probably shameless self promo because it's a project you're working on. Although, you know what? I think I should probably make a new chat for you um before you post it. I will make Hygge Hub channel. So there you go. We now have a place to post all things Hygge. We can rename it to projects if you think that that's a better name. But yeah, go ahead and post it in Hygge Hub. So all things cozy. Because I think a blanket would be a wonderful place for that. And if I want to post cozy things from around my apartment and such, I can definitely do that. So that's the Scarecrow. My goodness, we've met so many characters. We've met the Witch from the North. We've met the Scarecrow. We've had Bach come into the picture. Surprise, surprise. And super, super fun. Oh, look, and my shirt has blue on it. And my couch is blue. My apartment, I suppose, would fit well into the land of the Munchkins. My headscarf is blue. We're doing it. So friends, I suppose Hygge is a bit more on brand. What do you think of The Wizard of Oz so far? How do you like it as compared to the movies? If you've never ever read the books, what are some of your favorite things? Like I said, they really do move along at a wonderful, wonderful pace. I'm gonna get some water really quick. I'll be right back. But yes. Whoop. Whoops. Hi, buddies. Hi, sweet boy. Hi, baby. Hi, sweet buddy. Hi, Mr. Mary. Hi, sweetheart. You want to come in? Oh, what a flop. Oh, you sweet boy. You want to come here with me? Oh, we have a cat butt. Hi, sweet boy. It's Mr. Mary. He loves the laptop. He likes to, what we affectionately refer to as to dragon things. That is to completely cover his body in it and make it a part of his hoard. Whoop. Oh no. My mic stand just popped off. Yeah, he's basically Smog the dragon. Oh dear. This is awkward. You have to go for a minute, but have a great rest of your stream. Aw, I'm so glad you love it, Nova. Sorry about any weird sound things happening right now because my mic stand popped off. There we are. Oh, yay. I'm so glad you posted. Let me take a look. Where is my phone? Oh, it fell on the floor. All right. Let's hop on to Discord, friends. Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh, you're hand knitting with the looms. I used to do that.
Oh, how lovely. Oh, it's perfect. You're starting on all the different colors and wonderful things. All right, so let's see what you guys think of the book. Nicole loves it. The books are always better. You've only seen the movie about 20 years ago. Yeah, the books are wonderful. You love everything. These books are such classics and a favorite, along with Anne of Green Gables. I've never read any of Anne of Green Gables, ever. Which is definitely on my list. Yeah, the books are all free as well in the US. They're a part of the public domain. Oh, Amanda loves it. Yay, she Nova loves the book. Same Mike and Stan and same problem. Yeah, I don't know what was up with the clip. Alrighty. You're shocked. I know. I haven't read any of Anne of Green Gables. When Mr. Mary came on screen, your cat Moriarty jumped up into your lap. Aw, BB. Yes, Rachel has a cat named Moriarty. She's a sweetheart, and Rachel is A+ at naming cats. So how are you feeling, my friends? Do you want to keep going with chapter 4, The Road Through the Forest? Do you want to call it a day? Whatever you think. Yes, you have a book that has the first 3. Wonderful. I know our animals all have geeky names. It's really, really wonderful. We are amongst friends. I know. Finished the book. I actually don't know how long. We've already read. Well, we're on chapter 4, but we're only on page 17 because the chapters are quite quick. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here. Okay, that's The Marvelous Land of Oz. The Marvelous Land of Oz, if you don't know, is the one with Jack Pumpkinhead. Hi, Sophie. We've been reading The Wizard of Oz and drinking tea. Like ya do. So it looks like this book is 122 pages long. Stories total? Oh man, so many. I have the first 10 of the Oz series, but I know that there are many, many more. And they're not all about Dorothy. Like the sequel, I don't even know if Dorothy comes into it at all. I think I saw the movie Return to Oz a long time ago when it came out, and I haven't seen it since. But I do remember that it was much, much more like the books as opposed to the movie, which is exciting. I did grab a snack. This is now, I guess, almond ASMR. Oh, wow. 30 or 40 books. Okay, there we go. Ooh, a sticker book as a child and you still have it. That's wonderful. Beverly, take a picture of the book and post it in the Hygge Hub, the new Discord page. Hi, Pippin. Hey, cuties. Let's see if I can. Mr. Mary. There's Mary and Pip. They're like, okay, what are you doing? What's going on? Yeah, buddies? They're lovely. I know, Pippin.
Darling boy.
Oh, on top. The game on top is actually Roll for the Galaxy. They're so lazy. Look at them. Oh my god. Buddies. Cutie pies. I'm so lucky they love each other. Oh my god. Cuties. My little babies. Aw, Pippin. Aw, Pippin. You guys. They groom each other every day. They're so cute. I love that the cats are just like involuntarily a part of this, but they're so cute. Oh yeah, babies? Oh yeah. Pippin, what are you doing, sweet boy? All right, well, that's them. They do stuff like that all day. Parallel kitties. Hi, Pippin.
Hi, sweet boy.
They're pooped. Jacob's good. Jacob's at work right now. Jacob does not like being at work. So probably right in this moment, he's not doing too great. But he will be home tonight, which I really love. I have to record some auditions from voiceover auditions later today. And it's really helpful when Jacob's home because he's kind of, oh my God, I have to show you Pippin. Hold the phone. Are you not in your back anymore? Oh, when he rolls over, he's so cute. Pippin, sweet boy. Can you roll over again? You're like, no, too sleepy, Mom. Too sleepy. Anywho. Yeah, he just got home, so he's much happier. Yep, pretty much. All right, a few more almonds. I wonder, I'm going to do an experiment because I'm quite warm. I'm going to turn on the AC, and if y'all could let me know if it's annoying or not. Oop, caught him. Burp. Look at that. He's so funny. I caught it that time when he's like mid-roll and he's like, eh. All right, I'm going to turn on the AC. Yeah, it's been in the 90s all week. So, yep. I don't know how much my mic is picking up of the AC, so if it's too much, I will brave it and shut it off just because I have the shades drawn back too for light. You can't hear it yet? Okay, good, because it's on. So, whew. I am glad because it's warm. Perfect. That's one nice thing about using a good microphone. All right. Oh, it's 90 there too? Dang. Oh, thank goodness. Thank you, microphone. And this is even my lazy microphone. This is my USB microphone and not like my voiceover audition microphone, which you have to like connect to a box and then connect the box to the laptop. So, alrighty. Are you ready for chapter 4? Are we going to do this? Thank you, Nicole. I'm glad that you can't hear it. Oh. Yeah. Amanda says do it. We have any other votes to keep reading chapter 4? What if I do it like this? Do it. Yes, please. Thumbs up. All right. Chapter 4, The Road Through the Forest. Chapter 4. There's our little artwork there. Aw, how do you donate? Oh, you're so sweet. I have a Patreon. And I also I'm not monetized. I'm not monetized on YouTube, so I can't have like super chat or anything. Oh, and you get your oh, Beverly. Thank you. I appreciate you. Oh, did that link not work? Do I have to put the www? There we go. That should work. I appreciate you. You are so sweet. My goal is trying to make like my creative endeavors more sustainable. So that's why I'm giving Patreon a try. I'm gonna try to figure out on Twitch how to get like bits set up and stuff like that. So yeah, let me pull up my Twitch page. So that way when we do these regularly, you can be there. Twitch is when you become an affiliate word. So that's my Twitch page and that's my Patreon. So the nice thing is like you can be anyone and have a Patreon. You don't have to meet certain requirements. So even like with YouTube, I have more than I need in subscribers, but I still don't have the watch hours. So I technically can't. Oh, you're already following on Twitch. You're so wonderful. So let's see. All right. You're magic. My phone's almost dead. Great. Good thing I'm using my laptop. Alrighty. So, Chapter 4, The Road Through the Forest. After a few hours, the road began to be rough, and the walking grew so difficult that the Scarecrow often stumbled over the yellow brick, which were here very uneven. Sometimes, indeed, they were broken or missing altogether, leaving holes that Toto jumped across and walked around. As for the Scarecrow, having no brains, he walked straight ahead, and so, stepping into the holes, and fell at full length on the hard bricks. It never hurt him. However, Dorothy would pick him up and set him upon his feet again, while he joined her in laughing merrily at his own mishap. I don't think you can. Can you officially? That's like emojis. I'm like a mod for another friend's live stream. But I don't know. Let's see. I don't think I can actually do that yet. So I like have my own links popped up in a window right now. Bye, John. Oh, I'm sorry your internet's having issues. Thanks for hopping on Discord. I'm really excited about your blanket and our new chat room just for it. So yeah, I'll be doing this on Twitch if you like it. I still have to figure stuff out. But yeah, I hope you love it. Have a wonderful day. Oh yeah, Beverly, that's so lovely if you want to. Alrighty. I'm glad I stopped to look up so that I could wish John goodbye. Let's see here. The farms were not nearly so well cared for here as they were farther back. There were fewer houses and fewer fruit trees, and the farther they went, the more dismal and lonesome the country became. At noon, they sat down by the roadside near a little brook, and Dorothy opened her basket and got out some bread. She offered a piece to the Scarecrow, but he refused. I am never hungry, he said, and it is a lucky thing I am not, for my mouth is only painted, and if I should cut a hole in it so I could eat, the straw I am stuffed with would come out, and that would spoil the shape of my head. Dorothy saw at once that this was true, so she only nodded and went on eating her bread. Tell me something about yourself and the country you came from. Oh, nope, that's the Scarecrow. Tell me something about yourself and the country you came from, said the Scarecrow when she had finished eating her dinner. She told him all about Kansas and how gray everything was, and how the cyclone had carried her into this queer land of Oz. The Scarecrow listened carefully and said, I cannot understand why you should wish to leave this beautiful country and go back to the dry, gray place you call Kansas. That is because you have no brains, answered the girl. No matter how dreary and gray our homes are, we people of flesh and blood would rather live there than any other country, be it ever so beautiful. There's no place like home. The Scarecrow sighed. Of course I cannot understand it, he said. If your heads were stuffed with straw like mine, you would probably all live in the beautiful places, and then Kansas would have no people at all. It is fortunate for Kansas that you have brains. Won't you tell me a story while we are here resting? Asked the child. The Scarecrow looked at her reproachfully and answered, My life has been so short that I rarely know nothing whatever. I was only made the day before yesterday. What happened in the world before that time is all unknown to me. Luckily, when the farmer had made my head, one of the first things he did was to paint my ears, so that I heard what was going on. There was another Munchkin with him, and the first thing I heard the farmer saying, How do you like those ears? They're not even straight, answered the other. Never mind, said the farmer. They are ears just the same, which was true enough. Now I'll make the eyes, said the farmer. So he painted my right eye, and as soon as it was finished, I found myself looking at him, at everything around me, with a great deal of curiosity, for this was my first glimpse at the world. It's a rather pretty eye, remarked the Munchkin, who was watching the farmer. Blue paint is just the color for eyes. I think I'll make the other a little bigger, said the farmer, and when the second eye was done, I could see much better than before. Then he made my nose and my mouth, but I did not speak, because at the time I did not know what a mouth was for. I had the fun of watching them make my body and my arms and legs, and when they fastened on my head at last, I felt very proud, for I thought I was just as good a man as anyone. This fellow will scare the crows fast enough, said the farmer. He looks just like a man. Why, he is a man, said the other, and I quite agreed with him. The farmer carried me under his arm to the cornfield and set me up on a tall stick where you found me. He and his friends soon after walked away and left me alone. We have a picture. I know, right? You have no brains. That's where they are when the Scarecrow's telling his story. I love Toto's little expressions in all the pictures. So sweet. So sweet. All right. I did not like to be deserted this way, so I walked after them, but my feet would not touch the ground. I was forced to stay on that pole. It was a lonely life to lead, for I had nothing to think of, having been made such a little while before. Many crows and other birds flew into the cornfield, but as soon as they saw me, flew away again, thinking I was a munchkin, and this pleased me and made me feel that I was quite an important person. By and by, an old crow flew near me, and after looking at me carefully, he perched upon my shoulder and said, I wonder if that farmer thought to fool me in this clumsy manner. Any crow of sense could see that you are only stuffed of straw. Then he hopped down at my feet and ate all the corn he wanted. The other birds, seeing how he was not harmed by me, came to eat the corn too. So in such a short time there was a great flock of them around me. I felt sad at this, for it showed I was not such a good scarecrow after all. But the old crow comforted me, saying, If you only had brains in your head, you would be as good as any of them, and a better man than some of them. Brains are the only things worth having in this world, no matter whether one is a crow or a man. After the crows had gone, I thought this over and decided I would try hard to get some brains. By good luck, you came along and pulled me off the stake. And from what you say, I am sure the great Oz would give me brains as soon as we get to the Emerald City. I hope so, said Dorothy earnestly, since you seem anxious to have them. Oh, yes, I am anxious, returned the Scarecrow. It is such an uncomfortable feeling to know one is a fool. Oh, you need to head off as well. Have a good day. Thanks for stopping by. It means so much that you were here, honestly. I'm really glad that people were here for this. That makes me so happy. Well, said the girl, let us go, and she handed the basket to the Scarecrow. There were no fences at all by the roadside now, and the land was rough and untilled. Towards evening, they came to a great forest where the trees grew so big and so close together that their branches met over the road of yellow brick. It was almost dark under the trees, for the branches shut out the daylight, but the travelers did not stop and went on into the forest. Oh, I'm so glad it's perfect for just before bed. If this road goes on, it must come out, said the Scarecrow, and as the Emerald City is at the other end of the road, we must go wherever it leads us. Anyone would know that, said Dorothy. Certainly, that's why I know it, returned the Scarecrow. If it required brains to figure it out, I should never have said it. After an hour or so, the light faded away, and they found themselves stumbling along in the darkness. Dorothy could not see at all, but Toto could, for some dogs see very well in the dark, and the Scarecrow declared he could see as well as by day, so she took hold of his arm and managed to get along fairly well. If you see any house or any place we could pass the night, she said, you must tell me, for it is very uncomfortable walking in the dark. Soon after, the Scarecrow stopped. I see a little cottage at the right of us, he said, built of logs and branches. Shall we go there? Yes, indeed, answered the child. I am all tired out. So the Scarecrow led her through the trees until they reached the cottage, and Dorothy entered and found a bed of dried leaves in one corner. She lay down at once, and with Toto beside her, soon fell into a sound sleep. The Scarecrow, who was never tired, stood up in another corner and waited patiently until morning came. You need to nap, but you gotta get lunch. Oh, the next chapter is when they meet the Tin Man. So let me go ahead and get ready for the closing segment of what I want to do on the live streams. I will be right back. I know the Scarecrow is such a sweetie. Alrighty. So I want to wrap off my streams with some cozy jams on my ukulele so that it's nice and comforting and just really cozy. Move this down a little so you can hear the uke. Bloop. Ready? Over in Killarney, many years ago, my mother sang this song to me in tones so sweet and low. Just a simple little ditty in her good old Irish way. And she used to rock me fast. Nope. What is it? Oh yeah. And I'd give the world to hear her sing this song to me today. Tooraloo-ra-loo-ra, tooraloo-ra-lie, tooraloo-ra-loo-ra. Hush, now don't you cry. Tooraloo-ra-loo-ra, tooraloo-ra-lie, tooraloo-ra-loo-ra. That's an Irish lullaby. Oft in dreams I wander to that cot again. I feel her arms a-hugging me as when she held me then. And I hear her voice a-humming to me as in days of yore, when she used to rock me fast asleep outside the cabin door. Tooraloo-ra-loo-ra, tooraloo-ra-lie, tooraloo-ra-loo-ra. Hush, now don't you cry. Tooraloo-ra-loo-ra, tooraloo-ra-lie, tooraloo-ra-loo-ra. That's an Irish lullaby. Yay! Oh, we danced you around the room. So lovely. That's my go-to lullaby, of course. Irish lullaby. So I thought I would play just some like really cozy music. Oh, thank you, Amanda. I'm gonna now play something else. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm gonna play something else that, well, two other songs that my dad used to play to my siblings and I before we would go to bed. They're all a little sad. I mean, one is an Irish tune. And the other one is a classic Peter, Paul, and Mary. So while we're on the Irish train, let's play some let's play another one. I sang this one for St. Patrick's Day this year on my channel because I do an Irish tune every year for YouTube, and it's so fun. Here we are. Oh, I need to play this one and see. Words. In Dublin's fair city, where the girls are so pretty, I first set my eyes on sweet Molly Malone. She wheels her wheelbarrow down streets broad and narrow, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh. Alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh. She was a fishmonger, it was really no wonder, as were her father and mother before. They wheeled their wheelbarrows down streets broad and narrow, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh. Alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh. She died of a fever, and no one could save her, and that was the end of sweet Molly Malone. Now her ghost wheels her barrow down streets broad and narrow, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh. Alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh, everybody, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, crying cockles, cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh, yay! I love that song so much. Yeah, it's so great. And then the last one I'm going to play today before we go, because we've been going for almost 2 hours, which is longer than I've ever done on YouTube before. Let's see here. And you need to look up the lyrics, because there are a bunch of them. All right, so you'll probably maybe know this one. This is from Peter, Paul, and Mary. My nails are so long for doing this. Except I need to play this in G. So let me transpose this in my head. Nope. G. E minor to C. G. To B. Wait. My brain just stopped. Nope. Maybe I should just play it and see. Let's just do it. It'll be a little higher than the other ones, but that's fine. Oh yeah, Badoo. Let's see if any of you have guessed it. Anyone know what this is? I know that time went very fast. Puff the magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Little Jackie Paper loved that rascal Puff and brought him strings and sealing wax and other fancy stuff. Oh, Puff the magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Puff the magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Bloop versus together they would travel on a boat with billowed sail. Jackie kept a lookout perched on Puff's gigantic tail. No noble kings and princes would bow in ere they came. Pirate ships would lower their flags when Puff roared out his name. Oh, Puff, Puff, the magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Puff, the magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. A dragon lives forever, but not so little boys. Painted wings and giant's rings make way for other toys. One gray night it happened, Jackie Paper came no more, and Puff, that mighty dragon, he ceased his fearless roar. Oh, Puff, the magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Puff, the magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. His head was bent in sorrow, green scales fell like rain. Puff no longer went to play along the cherry lane. Without his lifelong friend, Puff could not be brave. So Puff, that mighty dragon, sadly slipped into his cave. Oh, I'm transposing it as I'm reading it. Whee! Puff, the magic dragon, lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Puff, the magic children frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Hanali. Poor Puff. That's how my dad would always end it. Oh, your mom would always sing it to you. Oh, Sophie, thank you for stopping by. Oh, I'm so glad you like the live streams. I know. I like to think that Puff would oh yeah, Beverly, that's a good thought. I always liked to think that Puff would find another friend. Oh, thanks, Ginger. Thanks so much. I think this is where I'm gonna wrap it up for the day. So what I'm hoping for the streams on Twitch, and I was originally thinking the evening, but I do have quite a few over in the UK watching and such that I might do it in the afternoons. So we'll see. Words. Yeah, so I'm hoping to have, oh, thanks, Amanda. I'm hoping for the top portion to be just a tea party chat, and then the next portion to be some reading. I'm hoping to start with Harry Potter. Ooh, so exciting. Although maybe I'll finish off The Wizard of Oz until more people come and hang out, and then we'll read Harry Potter. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, Nova's back. You just missed some tunage. Maybe I'll play one more song for Nova. What do you guys think? Yeah, and then after reading books, we're going to play some super cozy music, which is so wonderful. Let's see here. Yay! So that sounds lovely. Thank you for all of your feedback, everyone. It's just been so wonderful. I think we should sing one more song for Nova. While we're on a Peter, Paul, and Mary kick. Do I remember all the lyrics for that song? Or is there something else that I know? Oh, you know what? We're reading Wizard of Oz. Do I remember how to play Somewhere Over the Rainbow? Oh. No. No. Nope. I'm trying to remember all of the chords. No. That's not it. It's a nice chord though. D minor 7. What is that chord? I'm just gonna skip it. Oh, thanks, Sophie. That's probably good enough. Interesting things will happen when we get to the bridge. I should probably practice this. All right. I sang this on my channel a couple years ago and filmed a fun video about it. So
That's super fun.
if someone wants to find that video of me singing this and post it in the chat, that would be super, super helpful. Let's see. When all the world is a hopeless jumble, and the raindrops tumble all around, heaven opens a magic place. When all the clouds open up the skyway, there's a rainbow highway to be found. Lead Reading from your window pane to a place behind the sun, just a step beyond the rain. Oh no, I won't let you post links. I'll post it after. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a, I don't know, remember what that minor chord is. There's a, I don't remember what that one is. That's gonna bother me. Oh, it's a C minor. Duh, because the song does that cool thing. There's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, birds fly. Nope, it's not the bluebirds one. Skies are blue, huh? Skies are blue, blue skies over the rainbow. Dreams really do come true. This will be interesting. No. Okay. Day I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away. Nope. Troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, they fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why, then, oh, why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't Oh, yeah, remembering all those jazz chords, my brain is like, what? But I got it. Yay! I'm so glad that I remembered that one for you. I can't believe I didn't even think of it before because we're reading The Wizard of Oz. So yeah, I'm hoping to continue this over on Twitch. I'm going to post the link right here. If you're not following me, make sure you do so you get notified when I'm going to be streaming, because we're on Chapter 5 of The Wizard of Oz, The Rescue of the Tin Woodman, which is so exciting. If you want to support Positive Tea Parties, I do have a Patreon page. I went ahead and popped that in the chat right now as well. So go ahead and just follow. Following on Twitch is free. It just notifies you when I stream, so you have an idea. And then once I get a feel for it, I'll go ahead and make a schedule for my tea parties. Yeah, any sort of feedback you have would be wonderful. I'll stay on for another minute or so just to chat and wrap up. If you have anything, if this is a good time for you, if this is a bad time for you, I would love to know. Please let me know. So yeah, like I said, we'll be drinking tea and then reading books, The Wizard of Oz, and then I do want to get to Harry Potter, and then singing very cozy songs. I love you and you're beautiful and lovely. Oh, Beverly, thank you, my dear. Thank you so much. We had so many wonderful people pop in here today. I know we have people kind of watching from all over. We have some East Coast, some West Coast. We have quite a few from the UK. Oh, and then mayhaps Anne of Green Gables, because I can't believe I've never read it, and I can literally download it on my phone if I want to read it. Which is so lovely. Thank you also for people hopping onto the Discord. Let me pull that up right quick. I'm usually pretty good at being my own mod. But I just didn't have Discord pulled open for some reason. There we go. Sunday afternoon is great. Awesome. I'm probably going to end up doing it 3 times a week just because I know Twitch, they really, really like when you stream more regularly. So I'll probably be doing it more frequently. You should read Queen Zizi of Ix. Ooh, yes. Ooh, dang. So many good book suggestions. Another Oz-like book. Yeah, I think I read that a very, very long time ago. Just like the Oz books are so great because the chapters are short. The story moves along really, really well. Lots of room for discussion and all of that kind of stuff. And of course, like if I read the first Harry Potter book, then I don't have to like continue reading the whole series. I can always mix it up. So yes, thank you for your feedback, everyone. Yes, I will make a little list. So maybe like streaming weekend afternoons, 8 hours total, 7 days of the month, and an average of 3 views. Oh, that's actually not that often. If I streamed every Sunday. Lies, if you read the first one, you're committing to all of them. Which I'm really excited about. I figured Harry Potter would be a really nice way to open on Twitch too, because like people are looking for Harry Potter. Because people don't really read books on Twitch that much. It's not really a thing, but it's something that I want to do, so who cares? So twice a week, pretty much. Yeah. So yeah, I'll start with 2-3 times a week, maybe weekend afternoons. I'm not sure. Streaming Sundays is a little tough because I'm streaming live on YouTube right now, but I usually post an episode every Sunday. So I don't really want to like double post. I know, Beverly. Streaming the table games, like streaming board games is hard though, just because I need more technology hookups and stuff. So one day I'll figure it out. So yeah, I'm gonna go. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. I was not expecting this kind of a response to this sort of stream. Can you stream both through OBS? I wonder. But again, is that a bad thing to split the audience? I don't know. But I have been looking to kind of like decrease my workload on YouTube. I finally have someone who's going to be an editor for me for one of my episodes a week. So that's really, really helpful. And I mean, if Sunday was a live stream that I did both on Twitch and YouTube, that would really, really lessen the load as well. Okay, great. Streamlabs, I can. The only thing is, I have to remember my fiance's PIN number to get into his laptop because his is an his is Windows and you can't use Streamlabs on Mac, which kind of sucks. Oh, I'm so glad, Beverly. Okay, great. That's a great idea, you guys. Thank you so much for that because that's like, whew, stress-free feedback and that would make things a lot easier. So if you want to keep up with the story, you can watch on Twitch and follow those live streams. But if you just want to pop in once in a while for a cozy tea party every Sunday, I can also stream it on YouTube and just hang out. So that's lovely. You are lovely. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And last and most important of all, I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye, everybody. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye. Thanks, everybody. You're so wonderful. Bye.